Greetings to Dr. Nelson. We are from Group 4 and today we will be presenting Assignment 1 report with the title Influence of Streaming Platforms on Youth Culture. For the introduction, streaming platforms such as YouTube, Netflix and TikToks are the main source of entertainment for today's youth. Youth now can choose and control their own media content. Streaming platforms shapes daily habits, communication and social life of these youth. Influencers, trends, and shows strongly affect how youth think and behave. These streaming platforms also spread ideas very fast and influence the youth culture globally. Moving on to the next part of the presentation, the theory used for this study is cultivation analysis theory. This theory is developed by George Gebner, and according to him, he said that media shapes how people see reality through constant and repeated exposure. Over time, audience develop shared beliefs and expectations. Why this theory is relevant to streaming platforms is because streaming platform shows continuous repeated content through algorithms, and youth repeatedly see similar themes and trends, and also this repetition influence what they think is normal. Next is the effects on youth. Streaming platform shapes ideas on beauty, relationship, gender roles, and behavior. The youth may adopt unrealistic or exaggerated portrayals as standards. Other than that, algorithm-driven contents also strengthen this influence. Lastly, why this theory is useful for this study is because it helps to explain how and why streaming influence youth. It also shows long-term effect of repeated media platforms. And lastly, a good framework for studying changes in identity, behavior, and culture.
Streaming platforms has the potential to have both beneficial and harmful impacts, and several studies have researched the influence of streaming platforms on society, particularly on youths. While streaming platforms constantly promote new characters, role models, and also narratives, certain behaviors and lifestyles become unacceptable, even if they can be quite excessive or unrealistic. When young youths continue to encounter unrealistic friendships, idealized romances, or effortless success stories, they might begin to develop high and false expectations about how real life should be. The amount of violence shown in streaming platforms nowadays are increasing. Online platforms provide new and dangerous ways for youths to be exposed to alcohol and drugs.
And for the second key points are cultural influence and identity formation through media content. Local customs, language, religion, and social convention have historically shaped cultural identity as it grows more and more impacted by international digital exchange as a cultural identity not just strengthens solidarity and pride among community members but also promotes cross-cultural dialogue and cooperation, as this aims to tolerate the differences of races, classes, cultures, religions, and genders, and to cultivate the capacity of solving the problems or conflicts caused by stereotypes, discriminations, and prejudice.
So next we have discussion and analysis. So the two communication dynamics that can be seen are message framing and audience response. So for message framing, streaming platforms would repeatedly use similar storylines and also themes. So violent and risky shows like Money Heist, Stranger Things, and GTA, they would create a sense of a dangerous and unstable world among the youth these days. So repeated exposure of violence, they can increase the fear and anxiety inside the youth's head. They will repeatedly think that what's going on inside that TV, it will be true. So other than that, it promotes a materialistic mindset also on social media. So if the youth constantly sees that influencers, they have luxury lifestyle, if they repeatedly consume that content, they would believe that it's typical and also expected. Next, we have audience response. So the youth, they can easily be connected emotionally and psychologically connect with those characters. So the viewer, they also may internalize the attitudes and behavior and the lifestyle of the character. For example, Wednesday Adams from Wednesday, she represents teens who feel misunderstood or socially disconnected. Youth who relate to her, they are independent and also may adopt a similar style as her. Very awkward. So streaming platforms, they strengthen identification because many shows, they focus on youth experiences. So frequent exposure to digital figures shape the presentation and the self-concept of how the youth is.
Next, we talk about the social implications of social media on public perception about social reality. So first of all, we discuss about the connection between media and altruistic behavior. So first, media has great influence inspiring good behavior among the audience by broadcasting real situation during crisis, encourage audience to participate more in altruistic behavior. For example, the ITV in Taiwan broadcasting story about kindness, charity and compassion, indirectly enhancing the sense of humanity among the audience. And the second one is social media act as constructor of stereotypes and social norms. So currently, as we know today, social media form new stereotypes and social norms, particularly on women. Most women, not all women, but most women are expected to perform in certain manners to gain social media users' attention and to fulfill certain expectation. So with the high expectation, social media stereotypes and social norms, it resulted to high standard of living to gain public attention, such as posting unrealistic bodies. And the third one is media influence on policy makers and policy agendas. So when the media consistently broadcasting emotional content enhancing sense of humanity among the audience and fear of victimization. So real example is when British Broadcasting Channel conduct investigation regarding sexual harassment at 2 universities in Africa. So this incident caught public attentions and viral, especially on Twitter, and it demanding and also exert pressure on the government to take legal actions on those who are involved.
In conclusion, streaming platforms greatly influence the way youth perceive themselves with others and their surroundings. As they watch significant quantities of violent movies to glorify substance abuse or idealized lifestyles, they tend to progressively develop new beliefs about what defines normal behavior, whereas frequent presentation of drugs and alcohol normalizes risky behavior. Even though media can provide entertainment, education information, and cultural knowledge, its impact must be approached critically, especially by young viewers who are still currently developing and their judgment and worldview. That's all from us. Thank you.